cut the music.
Back to Anthony Lee Raw. Guys, we are live. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Uno momento. All right, I'm back. I have my wrong hat on. Almost jinxed the whole damn thing. Okay, we're back though. We are back. Bitcoin doing a little razzle dazzle this morning, going over 79K. Yeah, kind of pumping up a little bit today. How is everyone? How is everyone? You want to stay tuned. We're going to do a couple of little quick announcements. So don't click off. Today is a good day. We are pumped up. Our bags are pumped up. So we're going to try to do some giveaways today. We're going to recap a couple things. And if we recap things and you feel like this is getting repetitive, I don't mean for it to be, guys, but I just want you to understand so that you can make sure you nail this down in the future, because this little storm, as I've been calling it, is not the last one. Not even close. There's going to be lots more, and you don't want to miss them. So stick around. Let's see who is here. Johnny, number 5. First man in chat. What's up, brother? Mighty Max. Guns up, Max. I went to the gym this morning. I tweaked my back like pretty bad. I really thought I was going to have to crawl out. It really kind of sucked. Yeah, like bad. And I'm not a whiner. So it was really rough. It just caught on me, like put me down on my knee kind of thing. Just one of those where it catches. Not fun. West Coast. What's up, bro? Salt Chain in the house. Got our moderator here. Got the wrench ready. Jack Hawkborn. It's a good thing I didn't have the workout camera rolling this morning, Hawkborn. You would have seen me go down to my knees. Not fun. Clarence. Bro, Clarence is a trading machine, y'all. A soon-to-be professional. Good job, Clarence. I'm proud of you, man. Mario, what's up? Eon's in the house. Good morning, guys. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to take a look at a couple things here. Let's see. Robin, have my hammer in hand to nail it down. Good. I posted a VIP Raw Crew only Discord video this morning showing the Bjorn trade that I got in. I was on a mentorship program yesterday, mentoring folks. And somebody messaged me about that earlier. I mentioned it on the video. I used to do mentorship with folks. We would do packages of 3 1.5 hour each live one-on-one Zoom calls. So we'll Zoom with each other. And I go over whatever you want, whatever you're struggling with, things you want to work on, portfolio review, whatever it is, packages of 3. And I cut that out several months ago because I just got so busy. But I made an exception a few weeks ago. I've been working with someone, and we caught a trade yesterday on that Zoom mentorship. But anyway, it got me thinking, I'm going to open it up, and I posted this in Discord earlier. I'm going to do 3 Zoom mentorship programs starting next week. But you need to go ahead and reserve them. If interested, message me in Discord or post in Discord one of the chat channels that you want a membership, and I'll send you the link so you can reserve your spot. Okay, I'm only going to do 3 people. That's it. I would love to do everyone. I just don't have time. So we're going to open them back up, and I think I'll bring that back periodically, just here and there, kind of as a thing. Hawkborn, hope your back gets better. Yeah, me too. Me too, guys. All right, so yeah, Bitcoin doing a little something. Altcoins, Moon and Fetch is up about 3% on the day. See if any standouts here. Not really, 2-3%. I don't see anything really kind of super. Ooh, Super's up over 20%. That one's popping off. That's about it, though. That's about it. So we'll see. I got a poll in chat. By the way, one more announcement before we jump in. There is 2 more announcements, very short and sweet. We have a goal. There's a little target icon up in the chat box there. It's for super chats. If we get 10 $2 super chats, 10 $2 super chats, we're going to give away live on stream a free Damien or Bjorn combo giveaway, and you're going to want to see this, or 1 month raw Discord access. So if you already have Damien and Bjorn, we're going to give away 1 month raw. So $2 super chats, we got to get 10 of them, and only those 10 will qualify. So we're going to give that away live on stream today. Quests Fire, One Piece request AKT. Bro, weren't you requesting that? I think the moderator told me somebody was requesting AKT and they weren't even bothering to take a second to thumbs up the videos. Bro, the least I asked for is to thumbs up the videos. Somebody not thumbs up and then asking for requests. I'm just giving you a hard time, brother. We'll see if we can get to AKT in a minute. Thank you. Salt Chain is posting that reminder for you guys. All right, let's take a look at what's going on here. The bottom is in, guys. The bottom is in. I'm going to say publicly right now, before I'm bottom calling, I've been bottom calling since July the 2nd, okay? Publicly bottom calling, but I will say from a technical trader's perspective, I'm just going to get it out there, I acknowledge we are still in a macro downtrend, okay? Let me switch over to the weekly here. Let me clear out this chart, actually. All right, I'm going to turn off Damien. So on this macro downtrend, we're setting higher highs, higher lows, right? All the way down from the top. I mean, obviously, right? So to flip this bullish on the macro, we technically have to take out 83K, right? And then we will be then setting higher highs and higher lows, something like that, right? I acknowledge that, okay? And somebody, some retard on X with a big channel, guys, and you know, he's technically right. He was calling like, I'll show it to you. I don't care. I'll show it to you. And normally I really like this guy, but you could tell when somebody's missed the bottom. Bitcoin can rally 23% in 1 week and remain bearish. Yeah, that's correct. Price needs to close daily candle above 83K. Yeah, that's correct. But what got me here, because he wasn't lying, what got me here, what part of lower highs and lower lows is still difficult for bulls to understand? That line right there tells me this is somebody that missed the bottom. And they need price to come back because they're feeling really stupid right now, okay? And it's true. And you know, people calling for the bottom at 57K, suggesting and you have to understand this, guys, because this is not the last time it's going to happen. When people were calling at 57K for Bitcoin to go down to 52K, 50K, things like that. Let's call it 50K, okay? And then they say, well, you can't know until you break 83K. That's correct. I acknowledge that is correct. However, guys, pay attention because I want you to maximize your return on investment, okay? Now, this is not going to apply to this would maybe wreck somebody who's high leverage trading, but if you're spot trading, think about what that retard just said, okay? You're at 57K and you're like, oh, dude, we're going to 50K Q4. It's got to be Q4. Okay. Say you're right. And you can't know until 83K is broken. Okay, you're correct. But even if you're right and we go to 50K, right? What is that, guys? A 13% drawdown, right? 13%. And if you're not buying until macro structure breaks at 83K, that means you're buying in at 45% higher. So how dumb are you to not be willing to ride 13%, but you're willing to buy in 45% higher? How foolish do you have to be? Or misled? You know, maybe not everybody's foolish. They're just misled. It's the herd. They're misled. Even if I was wrong, even if I'm still wrong, and we roll over and go to 50K, that's okay. You bought in at 57, you're only riding 13% drawdown versus buying in at 45% higher, getting 45% less bags. Think about that, guys. Don't listen to those people. And now you're hearing it, oh, this is just a lower high. We're going lower. Maybe so, but I'm telling you, these guys missed the bottom and they're mad. They are so mad. I've been doing this 12 years and going on 12 years. And they were so mad at the top whenever you told them that it was the top. They were so mad because they could not fathom that Bitcoin didn't go at least to 150, 200K. They couldn't just wrap their head around it. It didn't make sense to them. It doesn't matter that we had all the signs of a top. They were mad. And then when you're coming down here and you start the bounce, oh, told you so, bro, told you so. And we were ready for this Babylon trading. We shorted the shit out of it, guys. But they were so mad that you told them we were going lower because they needed to come back here because they missed the top. Okay, they missed the top, and now they're riding their bags into drawdown. And it wasn't until we got down to about here that they finally acknowledged that we're in a bear market and we're headed lower. And same thing is at the top. The same thing is at the top. They can't fathom that we're not going lower into Q4. They can't comprehend it because they have the herd mentality. And now they're mad because they bought into that bullshit narrative that market makers look at calendars and they wait for the herd to get on board because it's happened every time. What, all 3 times? You act like it's been going on for 120 years. It happened 3 times. 3 times. And I'll tell you what has happened 3 times. All of the on-chain data that Bitcoin has already hit as far as losses and things like that, those always took until Q4. Every single time. But they got hit on June the 30th. They got hit, all of them. So what has always taken to Q4 has already happened. So what matters? The on-chain data, the things that professional traders and investors and hedge funds, the things that they go by, or the calendar that the retards on Twitter go by? Which one matters more? You tell me. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But even if I am wrong, I risked 13% to not have to buy at 45% higher. So who's really right here? Who's really wrong here? Right? It's risk to reward. It is simple. All right, guys. And by the way, for Q4, for that to still be correct, and it still could be correct, but for that to still be correct, all of the other metrics will have to be wrong. Every single one of them. So that's like 13, 14 other metrics have to be wrong for the one to be right. Come on, guys. Don't listen to those people. I'm sorry. I'm on my soapbox today. You know how it is. By the way, Bitcoin pumping today, guys. I created a coupon code for the indicators page. If Bitcoin, I've got an alert set, if Bitcoin crosses $80,000 on this stream, I'm going to give out a 50% discount code for all indicators through today's daily close. It expires at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So let's be pulling for 80K for you guys that want half off indicators. And don't worry if you already got them and you get upset because you didn't get half off. We're going to do these promos all the time for random things. And plus, we may not even cross 80K. I'm just so, where's my beeper? So excited that things are pumping up out of here that we're just going to give some back. We're going to give some back. All right, let's dive on in. So now that everybody's learned why you should buy, even if this wasn't the bottom, it was still a good buying opportunity. 13%, 45%, you tell me, good buying opportunity. We bought, we're good. Let's look at the bottom. Okay, humor me, guys. I'm going to play a very, very short clip, 2 short clips, less than 10 seconds apiece, and this is what you need to know. This is from last week. If you remember last week, we came over here all last week on our live streams. I told you last week, break out this week. This was our live stream on Monday. It's a trap. The herd was wrong. All last week, we called for this pump. And this wasn't a lucky coin flip call. I'm going to prove it to you. And I'm going to show you how you can do it next time, both on your dumps, so you can sell your bags or short when you see what I'm about to show you, or you can long or buy and ride it back up, spot accumulate. This was not a lucky guess. This doesn't happen very often, but we had the perfect storm lined up on the Bjorn indicator. Watch this real quick. You're going to want to see this. This was from the live stream last Wednesday. I mean, maybe an hour before the blast off. Here we go, guys. Humor me. You can use this on any time frame, but when you get it on the daily, 2-day, weekly, 5-day, whatever, those are big, big, big moves, guys. Big moves. And we're trying to get it on all time frames, all major time frames. You're down in a contraction, and you don't stay in the contraction very long. Look, this is down here. I'm on the 3-day time frame. Look, when you came down here in January, you were only down here for a few days. Same thing in May, only down here a few days, and you've been down here for an extended period of time, and it has just ticked up. Guys, I'm telling you right now, when this thing crosses that orange 15, you're going to have a massive move, guys. Massive move. Right there. That was about an hour before blast off. Notice I just outlined, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I went into detail about this. But notice how the blue lines here on all these time frames are below the orange horizontal line, okay? Pay attention to that. That's on the high time frames, daily, 2-day, 3-day, 5-day. Very rarely do you get those to all line up like that. I mean, very rarely. You'll get the daily down there or the 3-day, but very rarely do you get them all down there at once, and they don't stay there long. These have been there for much longer than other times, and I'll show you. So I knew that when one of them expanded, all of them were going to go, because this is a perfect storm that only comes around a couple times a year, and it leads to massive moves, guys, massive moves. And Here's what it looked like when it expanded. Here's what it was before. Remember, all of them down here below the orange line, blue, and they all expanded at the same time, just like we called for on that stream. And when they all expanded, that was go time, guys. You already know what happened after. That was go time right here. You would have entered your trade right here on the Damien Pro signal and then waited until Bjorn fired off and watched it. You got the Bjorn green dot that went with it. You fired off, and from entry to exit, if you exited, or from entry to top is 26%. From exit signal, that's about 25%. Let's rewind the bars pattern. I want you to see this. I want you to see what it looked like in real time. Here's what it looked like in real time. So this is what it was like when I was on the stream and I said a big, massive move is coming. It looked just like this. You would have entered right here on this Damien Pro 2-day signal. That's where you would have entered, okay? And then let's just watch it. I mean, it wasn't a few hours later, boom, expansion right over that. But we were already in this trade one candle prior because we got the Damien Pro signal that told me this thing was fixing to blast off. And I used Bjorn to manage it. Let's go. Boom. Exit. There it is. There it is, guys. Nobody else called that I've seen. Maybe they did. And if they did, did anybody back it up like this? Did anybody show you why this was fixing to happen, guys? Nobody did. And let's show a big mighty max P and L, guys, from this same trade. $15,000 profit trade on a $3,000 account. $3,000, 30x leverage, 15 grand, guys. Given to you live on stream right here. Not only was it given live on stream, guys, VIP Discord, I came on that morning and said right here, 8/18, August 18th, I said a big move is brewing and it's coming soon. I even said, and we were in the trade. I showed my trade. In the trade, we were currently long, up about $3,000 realized profit at the time. Had a head short going, which we did close this head short for like $900 profit. But yeah, just we gave it to you guys. We gave it to you. Bjorn set up beautifully. If you want Bjorn and Damien, get on over right now, AnthonyLeeRaw.com. You got the indicators tab up top. Click on it. You got the suite of indicators. You get all 5 for the price of 3. Damien Pro are right there, and then Bjorn. Okay, I just put out a new Bjorn video attached to this today. There's your Bjorn indicator. Go get them, guys. Trust me. It's the greatest indicators you'll ever see. Ever see. But let's go to a small term time frame. I know some of you scalpers, these work on any time frame, any version of TradingView, paid, free, it doesn't matter. So I was on a mentorship yesterday, and this was a 15-minute time frame. We had just gotten on this call, and I did a video on this morning for the VIP Discord. We had just gotten on this call. And the same thing, guys, look here on the 15-minute time frame. You don't stay in a contraction very long. See, and this is 15 minutes, so taper your expectations. Obviously, the 15-minute is not as powerful as the 2-day, 3-day, 5-day, right? So when we talk about blast off on the 15-minute, we're not talking about that 3-day, 5-day that we got the other day that we waited for. This is a scalp trade. But even still, look how when you come down below the 18 or 15, that's contraction. You stay down there for one candle, 2 candles, 2 candles. Here we were down here for, God, like all weekend. So I knew when this expanded, we would have a big move to the upside. 15-minute time frame big, right? So we got this Damien Pro signal as soon as this was about 10 minutes into our mentorship call yesterday. And I said, hey, bro, I said, we just got the Damien Pro signal on the 15-minute. We're in full contraction and have been all weekend. I think we're going to get a nice pump here. What do you think? I said, it's your time. We don't have to take the trade. He said, no, bro, let's take the trade. I said, okay, cool. Let's take the trade. So we entered this trade, and we continued our mentorship, and I set some alerts, and we just watched it, guys. We just watched it, and let's see what happened. 15-minute time frame. I entered it the same way I did on that big trade. It's just him hauling around. There goes expansion. Boom. See the expansion right here? Just expanded over. We were already in here before expansion because we got the Damien Pro signal. We were in extended contraction phase down here. Remember, you don't stay here long. One candle, and then all weekend. So I knew the big one was coming. We were already in the trade. We got expansion. We watched it. And then I got out right there. And then you got the Damien Pro signal. So Damien Pro, you would have got out for a little bit less of a profit, only about 0.5%, but I grabbed a 1% profit all the way up to the top because I manage mine on Bjorn. I don't wait for the Pro signals. Most people do, and most of the time it's great. But as you're riding up, you're watching stochastic, and as soon as stochastic flipped down right there, that's where I got out. So I got out right there with the stochastic flip to the downside, whereas one candle later, you got the Damien exit signal. So it just depends. If you want to learn Bjorn, which is a little more technical, you would have got about twice as much profit out of this. It doesn't always work this way, but that's when I got out based upon Bjorn. I put a video on VIP Discord on that. Anyway, go get your indicator. By the way, here you go. Let's show it. It was only $800 profit, but that paid for triple of his mentorship. So $800 profit on a 15-minute time frame scalp that we weren't even planning to take. So super simple, guys. I just want you guys to be profitable traders, and you won't find any indicators like this. I don't care. Matter of fact, here, you want me to show you what you're fixing to start seeing from everyone? Take my word, guys. You're fixing to start seeing this from everyone, okay? All right, let's look at the bottom here. This is the cipher indicator, which is great. I'm not knocking it, okay? I'm not knocking it. But all these traders, and I'm not knocking, some of these traders are really good, and they use cipher really good, but I'm going to show you how Damien is superior here. Everybody's been calling lower, 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 Q4, right? Well, now we're getting the monthly cipher green dot. It's not confirmed. It will confirm, hopefully confirm at the end of this month, so in a week. But it is pending. It is flashing, right? And I will acknowledge every time you've gotten this in the past has been the bottom, right? It's been the bottom's been in. Let's mark it out for you who need a crayon to see this stuff. Monthly confirmed, monthly confirmed, monthly confirmed, right? You see that? However, that's on this current candle that we're on. What happened one candle before, guys? You got the Damien monthly confirmed signal. So if you're using Damien instead, you got this signal 37% ago. Okay? And Damien has also always called the bottom. Never been wrong. Never been wrong. This confirmed at the end of July. So for Damien to be wrong, pay attention, for Damien to be wrong, for Cypher to be wrong, assuming the Cypher dot confirms at the end of the month, for those two to be wrong and a host of other things, for them to be wrong, they have to be wrong for Q4 to be right. Understand? Because we've never gone lower from this point, ever. So everything else has to be invalidated, and some other things I'm going to show you have to be invalidated. So the retards that are out there, yes, that's what they are, calling for Q4, has to be Q4. They have like a 5% chance because 95% of the other things have to be wrong. They just missed the bottom. That's it. They just missed the bottom. Most of those people, guys, you have to understand, are not traders. Some of them are, and some of them are really good. But most of them are content creators, novelty content creators. And you know how they learned how to give you their signals and their calls? From other novelty content creators. They're regurgitating. They're not actually reading what on-chain data is saying. They're regurgitating. What do you mean on-chain data? We've shown all sorts. I'll show you just two of them right here. Every single bear market, I realize there's only been 3, you've hit 10.5 or 10.6 million coins at a loss. We hit 10.8 this time, okay? Do you know the reason you can't, I'm not saying can't or never have, in my opinion, go lower than that? You have a certain amount of diamond hands, a certain amount of investors, whales, hedge funds, people like you and I. There's a certain number of people that won't sell. Like, I don't give a damn how low you push price. They're not going to sell. Like, they're just holding for the next 10, 20 years. They're not selling. So 10.6, 10.8, 10.5 has always been that number where that's the maximum amount of people you can get in a loss because nobody else is selling. You can't push lower than that if nobody's willing to sell, right? Right? So that metric has been hit. It was hit on June 30th with that dump, guys. Fear and greed. Also, when the most coins are in a loss, right? When people are in their most drawdown, that's when they're the most scared, right? That number has always been 5 and 6 every single time. Every single bottom, fear and greed at 5 or 6, never lower. On June 30th, we hit a fear and greed of 5. You can't push it lower, in my opinion, because everybody who's getting scared out of the market at that time, feared out of the market, that's max paying. 10.8 million coins, fear and greed 5. You can try to push lower, but people aren't selling. And you can do a liquidity grab, big liquidation spike, but people aren't selling, guys. It's over. It's over. Don't listen to the retards. I'm telling you, it's over. And we called this on July 2nd, guys. I keep harping on it because I want you to understand who you're listening to, because a lot of people are fixing to start getting angry and pushing this narrative. And it's real easy to listen, let that poison in. And I just tell you guys, unsubscribe. Just the best. I used to follow like 30 people, 40 people, 50 people maybe, I don't know. And I was so confused. I would listen to one person and they would sound so convincing. And I go listen to somebody else who would say something else and sound so convincing. Here you go, guys. I'm doing a lot of deep dive analysis. Of things and blah, blah, blah. Against the herd, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the bottom is in. The bottom is in. We got the drop we were looking for last night. We took this trade. This was my first TP on the 57.7 trade. We wound up closing that for over 15 grand, guys. Here it is. I just closed it over Thursday or Friday. I called the bottom on July 2nd. All the on-chain data was there. Everything I see as a professional trader was there. There's no need to go lower other than a calendar need. But I was so confused when I follow all these people. And you know what? At the end of the day, I finally realized none of these people are backing up their words with any data. They're just talking out of their ass. That's it. That's why I go into such detail. When I tell you something, I always pull it up with evidence. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm not always right. I am not always right. But I'm never going to tell you something that I can't back up with some sort of evidence. Bruh, I saw your AKT like 47 times. Okay? I will get to AKT when I get to AKT. I already answered you anyway, dude. I'm not trying to be rude. I hear you. I got you. But I answered in the thing, nothing has changed on AKT. It's the exact same. I put out a video on it. It's the exact same. But I'll get to it, brother. Thumbs up the video, man. You're asking for a request. I saw Johnny sent it to me, or Salt Chain sent it to me. You're asking for things. You're not even thumbs upping, man. Doing the bare minimum. I'm just kidding. I'm harping. I'm fussing at folks, man. I'm sorry. Bottom's in, guys. Okay, here's another confirmation. Even if we don't break 83K yet, in my mind, here's another confirmation that we'll have in 7 days. First of all, we already got the Damien confirmed dot. Okay, we got the 10.8 million coins at a loss. We got fear and greed at 5. But here's another metric that has never been wrong that will have to be wrong for these Q4 retards to be correct. Okay, so we're at the monthly 5 and 55 EMA. Okay, every time you've closed a monthly candle above either or, not both, either one of them, the bottom has already been in. You've never gone lower. Look back here last cycle. Here's the first candle close above the 5. You didn't even get above 55, just above the 5, but it didn't matter. Bottom was in, gone, done, okay? I'm not a big EMA guy, but I do watch some on the macro. Down here, you closed above the 55 here. It was a couple months later before you got the 5, but it didn't matter. The bottom was already in, done, gone. You got a big wick down below them for C19. I mean, that's a global pandemic. What is that going to happen again? It doesn't matter. Even if it did, you still didn't take out the low. The bottom was in, okay? We can go back to 2015, 2014. The 55 had not populated, but even if it had, you could maybe see it something like that. But it doesn't matter if that's where it is or not. When you closed above the 5 right here, that was it. The bottom was in. Okay, so all eyes will be on this monthly close coming up in a week. But if you would have to get below 64K. This 55 is coming in at 63,949. You'd have to get below there and close the month below there in order to invalidate this. And guys, that I'm not saying it can't happen, but that's a 20% drop. I know we got more than a 20% pump last week, but that would be That would be brutal. It's not going to happen, in my opinion. If it does happen, I would say I was wrong, but that's not going to happen. It's not, in my opinion. And if it does, I'll say that I was wrong. Here you go. Same chart, though. Let's pull up just so those of you who didn't understand the coins at a loss, here's where we've reached them. Here's what I want you to pay attention to. Let me turn the EMAs off, and I'm going to turn Damien off. All right, so going back here, 10.6 million coins at a loss, fear and greed of 5. This was Q4. Okay, Q4. Okay, 10.6, here we are in 2018, 10.6 million coins at a loss, fear and greed 5, Q4. This was C19, so, I mean, you got, even at C19, I know it was Q4, it wasn't Q4, it was a little different, it was mid-cycle, but even at the global pandemic, you could not get coins at a loss below 10.5 million or fear and greed below 8 because people just aren't selling. There's some people that just won't sell, even on a global pandemic, okay? Here you go, last cycle, Q4, 10.6 million coins at a loss, fear and greed at 6. Here we go. You already know where I'm going. June 30th, 10.8 million coins at a loss, fear and greed at 5, not Q4. The job was done early. Bitcoin can go home. The job is done. You finished up work early. You know what else you got at those times? Each and every one of these, you got exchange closes. They're going under. Back in the day, you got the big famous Mt. Gox. Boom, crash. These things happen at the bottom of bear markets because a lot of these exchanges leverage trade your money. You keep money on there and they're leverage trading. And when you get to the bottoms, they get liquidated. They go belly up. This is what happens at bottoms, right? Mt. Gox, fast forward, next cycle, Cryptopia, Gatecoin, Coinroom, belly up at the bottom. C19, well, that doesn't count. That wasn't a bear market. Last bear market, you had FTX, Luna, Michael Saylor selling at the bottom. Here you had BitMEXC, Bitmark, Extend, Saylor selling at the bottom. Those are things that happen at bottoms. Those are things when Max Payne is in the market, guys. I know it's not an on-chain metric, but it's things to pay attention to. It's things that happen at the bitty bottom of every cycle. And we got that already. And we knew this ahead of time, guys. Matter of fact, for those of you that have been around a while, we called for this way in advance. I've had these circles on this chart for probably at least 7-8 months. And those West Coast, you guys that have been here, Salt Chain, you guys, y'all can vouch. I've had this on here for months. We were ready for this circle right here, and we came to the bitty bottom of our circle. Just like last time. And do you know how we called for this last time? It was because of a crashing structure. And all of these people out there who don't know anything about anything, they don't know what crashing structures look like. Crashing structures are nothing more than liquidity grabs, right? So what you want to see at a crashing structure, which you've never gotten before Q4 until now, you have to understand this, guys. I'm not an LA wave guy, but I do believe in 5-wave moves. 5-wave moves, ABC corrections. That's it. None of this zigzag, ABC, extended correction, that crap. That's nonsense. But 5 waves and 3 waves. Okay, look, macro moves, 5 waves, really 7 waves. Pay attention. This is important. 1, 2, this is last bear market, 2022. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when you came down for 4, you did not take out wave 3. You didn't take it out, okay? Pay attention. This is the most important thing, okay? I'm telling you what professional traders look for. So you hem-hawed around, and then in Q4, FTX, you finally grab the liquidity. Boom, wave 5. But that's not how a crashing structure. Crashing structure is a little different than a corrective structure. Crashing structure doesn't allow you, these are macro moves, macro crashing structure. They don't allow you to go because everybody longs this, right? And market makers are not going to let the herd ride that up. So what they do every single time, we'll zoom in here. You can see it better on the daily, but look at this, guys. Look at this. This is 5, which took out 3, which took till Q4, as it always does. But then they came back up 6, baby 7, which took out 5, and then go. baby 6, baby 7, because nobody longs this second shot. Nobody longs, and nobody longed this. Maybe a couple people, but everybody here was calling for 12.5K. Everybody longed this, got wiped out here, and then looked for this and got left behind. That's how it works, okay? Q4. You go back and look at previous bear markets, it was Q4, okay? Let's look at today. I'm telling you guys, you have to pay attention to this stuff. None of your little Q4 retards are going to tell you this stuff because they're novelty creators. 1, 2, 3, 4. This wave right here that pulled up and chopped around last cycle did not chop around last cycle, guys. It did not chop around. You came and swept it. Boom. You went ahead and swept it with wave 5 before Q4. And then you gave the baby 6, baby 7 sweep of that and go. We've been calling for it. The writing has been on the wall. And I know I'm being repetitive, but I want you guys to just go unfollow those people that are not showing you this. The writing has been on the wall. We've been calling it so for all of this stuff that I've shown you, the coins and the loss, the fear and greed, the crashing structure, the market cipher, the cipher green dot, the Damien buy signal, all the other things, they have to be invalidated for Q4 to matter. Somebody sitting around watching the calendar. Oh, is it Q4 yet? Can we let the herd get on board? It's stupid. It's nonsense. You know we don't have sensitivity training around here. I don't know how to sugarcoat. I don't know how to sugarcoat things. Oh, and here's the best of all. Here's the best of all. This is what makes me more excited than anything. On the left here, we have stablecoin dominance. On the right, Bitcoin. And you can throw your altcoin over here too. Even better. Stablecoin dominance at the peak of stablecoin dominance last cycle, and it's every cycle, but you were at the bottom of the bear market for crypto. Got the confirmed Damien buy signal on Bitcoin and probably most of your altcoins too. And you got the confirmed, this is monthly signal here, sell signal, stablecoins. Okay? I came to you 24 days ago when this confirmed and got so excited. Look what we got 24 days ago. Confirmed, not pending, not, oh gosh, maybe this will happen. Confirmed stablecoin dominance sell signal. Okay? At the same time, we got confirmed Bitcoin Damien buy signal. But here's where it got good on Friday. Okay? You know what we talked about on market structure, how Bitcoin is not going to flip bearish market structure or bullish market structure until you cross 83K, right? And then you would expect what? Higher highs and higher lows, right? Higher highs, higher lows, right? That's market structure. You've got to be prepared. Remember, Friday we said, when did Noah build the ark? Before the rain. You get ready before. On Friday, and you can see it here. Look at this market structure for stablecoin dominance. Higher highs, higher lows. Friday, you flipped market structure bearish. Do you know what that means? Even if you get a bounce here and crypto pulls back, you're in bearish stablecoin market structure, guys. And look what happened last time that happened. It's here. All the writing's on the wall. I'm telling you guys, it's here. This is the time to get really excited. And same thing when it happened back over here, guys. We'll go take a look here. Oops. So exact same thing happened. You higher highs, higher lows, and then you came and swooped the low. You bounced right there, but you created lower lows and lower highs. As soon as you swoop this market structure to bearish, we just did that. It's coming. It's so freaking close. It's so close. But people don't really deep dive like this into all the things. They want one or two little flashy signals, or they want to go watch somebody else and then come spit it back out to you and act like they created it. It's all right. let's see what the chat is saying. You guys want to see a non-influencer? You want to see what a hater looks like? You want to see? Somebody let me know. Put a 1 in chat if you want to see what a hater looks like. I like calling out haters. Peter, what's up, bro? The dude. Hey, man. The dude won some money the other day. Thank you for your super chat, bro. Thank you so much. Eons, thank you. Eons wants the VIP. Super chat $2 or more. You're either going to win a Damien and Bjorn combo or a 1 month VIP. You can choose. Chris, what's up, brother? LT, my man. You took a short at 78.5? I don't know. I've told my group, do not fade this rally. I've told everybody in my group, we're not fading this rally. It is not time. Let me see. You could have shorted yesterday. The VIP Discord, some of you guys took a short here from the shaded red box that I gave in advance and the 2-day sell signal. This would have been a good little short if you got that short. 3%. I'm not fading this. Here's what you have to understand, and really there's no indicator that can give you this kind of thing, but you just have to understand with experience, when you end the week on a rally like this, you know, you have the weekend, major markets are closed, so it's just a bunch of people like us out trading, you know, and I don't mean that offensively, but probably none of you have the money to move a market, right? So we're just trading. And when the market makers get back to work on Monday, you watch. You just sit and wait. And I told the Discord this. I literally told my Discord this yesterday. I said, I'm not in any trades right now. I want to see how the week opens up and what they're going to do. There's no clear indication of now. So we wait for a pullback or for Bitcoin to establish a new range somewhere. It's okay to sit out for a few days. When you get moves like this, guys, I know everybody wants to catch it, whatever. That's fine. I'm okay with missing a move. We're up so much money in the last week, but you don't know. So one of two things are going to open up. They're either going to open up and continue, or they're going to open up and retrace before continuation. One of the two, and you just don't know. So you need to wait a couple days, and I know it sucks that you can scalp, drop down to the 15-minute scalp. Sure, I scalped yesterday, made $800, but you just got to wait. Right now, you're holding value area high, which indicates higher, but you're holding value area high over the weekend, so it may mean nothing. You just have to wait. So my best recommendation would be just to wait. You're in profit right now. I would close it if I were you. I don't know what I would do. I don't know. I'm not even looking at it. I don't even know what time frame you took it on or why you took it. There's so many things that come in. Let's look at the 2-day. As of now, the 2-day Bjorn says higher. Volatility is ticked to the upside. Stochastics tick to the upside. This indicates higher as of now. So here's how you read this. As of now, this could always change, but I'm on the daily now. Volatility is rolled down, but stochastic is still higher. So it just wants higher, but maybe not super aggressively. Probably something like this. Probably just something like this while it figures it out. And then you're either going to push forward or push down. But this is telling me some sideways chop. But a big move could still come because volatility is still redlined on the daily. You've reset volatility down here on the 12-hour. So if this thing ticks back up, you're going to have a big move one way or the other. If it were me, I'd probably camp out on this 12-hour. Let me clear this up. I would probably camp out on this 12-hour time frame. It depends on what kind of trading you're doing. I don't know if you're 5-minute scalping or if you're macro trading. The higher time frames are still up. So that wants to go up, but they can flip if the lower time frames flip. Volatility on the 12-hour is way low. Stochastic is sideways. I would wait until this. Bjorn volatility ticked up. When this thing ticks up, wherever it ticks up from, I would trade or get out of my trade. I would trade whatever direction that gray line is, stochastic. I would trade it, and I would trade it heavily because the high time frames are still maxed out on volatility, which means big move is coming. This move is either not done and you're fixing to blast through 83K, or you're fixing to retrace all the way down here to 70K. One of the two is coming. I'm telling you, you are not fixing to stay sideways very long right here. Peter, we might look, Super's up over 20%. There's really nothing to see there. It's blasting off. We might look at SPX. You can't do TA on a coin that's blasting off. It's just like we just talked about here with Bitcoin. You just got to chill and wait for it to settle down. Chris says, these indicators give me a lot more confidence moving into the next bull run. I've only been trading for a few years and still feel like a beginner, but these are helpful. Thank you, bro. This guy in AKT, bro, AKT, everything's a buying zone. Everything's a buying zone. It depends on how high you think AKT is going. I mean, I just can't tell people this enough. Like I don't care. Like if AKT is going to $8-9 and you have a chance to buy it at 50 cents, what are you even talking about? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm so confused. Are you trying to nickel and dime and squeeze out this little bit when you're about to get that? That's just dumb, bro. I told people this on Fetch last week, and they're so upset that they're having to buy in at 40% higher today. Like, what are you doing? Do you know? Like I keep telling people, do you know how dumb, and I'm not making fun of you, bro, but everybody does this, and I used to do it too. I used to do it. But how dumb are you going to feel if you didn't buy here because you wanted to buy here and it goes to there? And you wind up having to buy in there because for some reason you're trying to grab the last penny out of this thing at the bottom. It's like the old Bitcoin analogy I gave earlier. People that didn't want to buy 57K because they wanted 50K. Well, now they're buying in at 40% higher today. Like that. And we called for this. We called for this last week. I think I even told people on the stream, I said, Fetch is done. I said, grab and go. I said, if you're not listening, you're going to buy in one day. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. I said, you're going to buy in. If you guys remember, I said, you're going to be buying in at 50% higher. Mark my words. I literally said that on stream. And what are we at now? Since then, Fetch is currently up 46%. Like I put this on stream. I put this on stream the other day. At some point, you've got to stop trying to be greedy and get lower. We want lower. We want lower. If you're going to 10, 20x from here, whatever your coin's going to do, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know how else to tell you. This is why you need to be prepared last week. And I get it. Everybody wants to figure out what happens now because you didn't listen last week. This is why I'm so repetitive, though, because I want you guys to understand when I bring you this stuff, it's for real. Look at this Fetch thing, guys. By the way, I didn't show this on stream last week. Let's see. I didn't show this. This is new. This is going to excite some of you guys, some of you Fetch guys, in my opinion. It excited me. Let's check this out. I moved up, got the sell, moved down. We're trying to confirm the second buy signal. Could this be it, guys? I don't know. Only time will tell. But that's exactly. You had a big low set here. It gives you your fifth wave, okay? You had a low set here, and then you moved up, got these two Damien signals, and you came back, sweep and go, okay? Liquidity grab and go. And that's exactly what we've done here. Come to here, set a low, move up, sweep and go. That's exactly what I'm expecting. Called for this last week. I tried to tell you guys, and this is not an I told you so. But look what's exciting about this also. Ooh, I got to come back to this. So I think I posted this in Discord. So I'm not a big fractal guy, but the bottom is playing out very similar to last time, okay? Here's the bottom last time. We just showed the sweep and go in the video, but here's the new part, okay? Here's the new part. This was the value area range of the bottom last cycle, 2022. At the time we blasted off, came down here, got the sweep and go. See the orange line, got the sweep and go, right? Sweep and go. When we blasted up out of the bottom, we came to value area low, rejected, came all the way back down. So everybody was panicking, thinking we're headed back lower, right? What did we get? Came all the way back down to the 786, guys. 786. Boom. And then absolutely ripped up out of there, right? Let's go look at today. This was the bottom. We called this the other day, right? We called this. Told you we had the liquidity grab at the bottom. Grab and go. Swoop and go. I kept telling you. What do? We came up to value area low over the weekend. Rejected, just like last cycle. Now, we didn't come back as far, but don't be surprised if we do. I'm not calling for us to come back that far, but we could. I'm prepared for it, and that would put you somewhere back down around 13.5, 14 cents. Everybody is going to be calling for 10 cents when that happens, and you're not going to get it. So if you're holding out for that, I'm sorry, but I think you're foolish. I think you should have been in last week at 11.9 cents when I told you. But if you're holding out for 10 cents, maybe you get it. Maybe you get it. But does it really matter? Do you know how many people who did not buy at 11.9 cents who are today buying in at 40% higher? Do you, and this is going to go to you too, Questfire. Look at this, guys. And I gave you guys, I told you guys this, but you have to start thinking of it like this. From top to bottom, Fetch went down 96.5%. 96.5%. To get down to 10 cents, I understand it was like 20% from now, but it's 0.5% from this total move down. So you're now buying in at 40% higher because you got so greedy that you tried to squeak out 0.5%, that you're now buying it at 40% higher. At some point, you got to say, enough of that greedy logic. We're going to $2. Let's go. At some point, in my opinion, you just have to say that. Because if you wait on confirmation that macro market structure's changed, you're going to be buying in there, which is 160% from the low. Questfire, please go watch my Tau video. I have for those of you who don't know, you can come over to the channel here. There's a little search feature. And I actually have a Tau. I like Tau. I actually have a Tau video. Type in Tau and you'll pull up all my Tau videos. You can search for any altcoin, any whatever you want. If I have done a video, it'll be there. But I have the Tau bull run price prediction there. Go check that out, brother. And thumbs up it if you want me to do your request. Show me some love, man. That's all I ask. I don't want your money. I think I'll show you guys something exciting on altcoins. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. Let's I need you guys' help. Let's get serious. I'm seeing a lot of ones in chats. You want me to call out a retard? Let's do it. Let's go over to X. Twitter X, whatever. Don't let this dissuade you from commenting on my stuff. Okay? Because I don't want to call people out. Just don't bring your bullshit either, okay? And if you do, back it up, okay? If you do, back it up. I'm totally cool being wrong, but don't come at me with your nonsense if you don't know what you're talking about. This guy. on X. Mark Smith. It's at Mark Smith 0. So I put out a Jasmy video a week or two ago. Called for a 20 to 30% pump within 2 weeks. Okay, I showed all the reasons why. Damien Pro signal, Bjorn, all that stuff. This guy comes over. I called it major bull signal. He said, Anthony, major bullshit signal. I said, is that a bad thing? I was just asking for an explanation. Like, is my video bad? And he said, it's a bullshit thing. And then I was still nice. I said, well, the 4 major bull signals I posted last week, and I posted the screenshot. I said, all of them played out. 3 of the 4 were over 30%. Same exact Damien Pro signal that Jasmy got, these 4 had gotten. I said, well, those weren't bullshit. And then he goes on to just, Jasmy's a con. I'm not falling for this further. I'm not a failure as a trader. And I'm going to tell him, I said, I could care less about Jasmy. Like, I don't care. Like, if you, Questfire, if you want to piss in a bottle, excuse my language, ladies, if you want to piss in a bottle and people are willing to buy or sell it, then I'll trade it. I really don't care what it is, right? I don't care about Jasmy. But if there's liquidity above or below, I can trade it and profit, right? And he goes on to call me out and want to compare portfolios. And then he said, if I'm a funny fellow, he said, if I'm right and he's wrong, he'll come back and give me a gold star. So then, of course, I got a comment on him. I'm like, still waiting on my gold star after that 20% Jasmy pump. Don't be shy now, princess. He's crickets. He's ignored me for days. Oh. What do I mean? Well, here's where I made the call on Jasmy that he told me what a retard I was. A con, bullshit. And Jasmy, I came and marked it out just so I could go screenshot it to him where I made the call. Go watch the video if you don't believe me. And Jasmy pumped 28% on a Damien Pro signal. With Bjorn expansion. Guys, don't come at me with that stuff if you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm not. But at least have some factual basis when you come at me calling me out like that. Because you're probably going to lose most of the time. And then I'm going to blast you out publicly to my small but high quality audience. He's not an influencer. He's a painter who says that his here he is, rare opportunity to paint Bob Rosta. His icon is Bob Ross. So he's painting his little happy little trees over here, happy little trees. All the way to clown school. Go show him some love if you're on X. Follow me on Twitter. I don't post much. I'm not into social media, but yeah. Whoa, there's a Bob Ross. Mark Smith 0. I want my gold star. So if you do go chat him up, tell him I want my gold star. He owes me a gold star. He talks shit, promised me a gold star, and now he's running from me. Yes, I am that petty sometimes. All right, we'll leave Mark Smith alone for now. Let's go look at some hopium. Here's Ethereum. Look at that guy. Y'all remember that guy getting wrecked on stream last week? And he came and asked me about the Ethereum trade, and I told him to get out. This was Wednesday, about 30 minutes before the blast off. I told him, I said, Ethereum's about to go to 2,700, bro. I'm telling you. We put out a video on this. We called for this like 2 weeks ago. Ethereum was going to 2,700. Almost did. Where was that? He came in here. What I'm about to show you is the second most exciting thing for me in altcoins, or me in crypto, period. Yeah, he came in here right here. I mean, minutes before blast off. You guys remember, He had just taken an ETH short. We were right here. He had just taken an ETH short and wanted to know what he should do with it. And I said, bro, I said, you're fixing to get absolutely wrecked. And it wasn't 20, 30 minutes later. Boom. Because we were looking at those Bjorn Bitcoin signals, right? So we knew what was happening. We were looking at this. We knew this was fixing to happen. And sure enough, it did. Anyway, here's what excites me. And I have Ethereum pulled up. I could care less about Ethereum. I don't own Ethereum. I don't care if you own Ethereum. I don't care about any of that. What I'm looking at is the PMI on the bottom. Now, PMI is not an indicator. It is, for those of you who don't know, it's an economic data report, okay? And any time we have gotten above 55 on PMI has been major alt season. Really, Bitcoin, altcoins, everything, just major crypto run. Okay, here it is back in 2017. You can see the big run up. Can't miss it, right? Boom. Absolutely parabolic. Here it is in 2020, got above. Now, note, when you got above it, you didn't just blast off 5 seconds later. This is a weekly chart, so this took a few weeks to get going right here, right? Just, I mean, maybe even 2 months, and then boom. As PMI stayed above 55. As PMI stayed above 55. Everybody complained about last cycle. Here's last cycle. Here's last cycle. It ended about right here, right? That's where the bull market ended, bear market ended. Right in here, right? PMI never, ever, ever crossed 55. Did not cross 55. So everybody says lackluster, bull run, no alt season. Well, at the 1st of August, we got the PMI report, and we crossed 55 for the first time in 6 years. That's the last time we crossed 55 to the upside. 6 years ago. Next week will be the new PMI report, guys. I'm telling you, if this thing stays above 55, I don't know what it's going to do. I'm not predicting. If it stays above 55, I'm telling you guys, get ready. What you don't want to see is it fall right below. Telling you guys, this is exciting. We did not get this all of last cycle. This is big. This is big. Throw that in confluence with stable coin dominance, guys. This is big. I've already shown the Russell, how we're so far behind the Russell. Peter says we ain't going back. I hope we don't go back. I know everybody's wanting back. I'm sorry if you got left behind. I hope, it sounds rude, but I hope some of you guys, not you guys, I hope the herd got left behind. I hope you guys are with us, but I don't want to go back and let them on. I'm ready to go. We've been in this thing long enough. Altcoins have been in a bear market twice. Most altcoins have been in a bear market twice as long as Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin topped in 2025, late October. Most of your altcoins topped in sometime in 2024. Jordan Daniels, what's up, bro? Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The home of West Coast. The original home. What time frames do you recommend spot trading using Bjorn? It depends on what you're spot trading. Spot trading altcoins, Bitcoin, gold. Depends on what you're looking at, bro. And depends on your level of tolerance. Like some people can't, like if you sold an altcoin today, some people can't sit there and watch the chop for a month before they rebuy. They need to rebuy like that day or the next day. So it depends on your tolerance for that. Depends if you're looking for a big move or, you know, do you want to accumulate like a 5 or 10% altcoin gain, or are you looking for the big 40, 50, 60 percenters? It depends on what you're looking for, because you can do both. If you're looking for the big move, 30, 40, 50, 60%, then in my opinion, stick on the 2-week, 10-day or 2-week time frame. If you're looking for a lot of little 5, 7, 10% moves, daily, 2-day. So it just depends on your tolerance for the emotional roller coaster. Because if, let's go back to fetch. Like here, oops. I'll just give you an example, just one trade. 2-week time frame, like it looks easy. You got here, you bought here, it's a 70% drawdown, right? But it's not that easy, because if we were to zoom in, let's just zoom in on this section right here where you first got it. Let's zoom in right there. Let's go to the daily. Let me turn Damien off. So if you got in there on the 2-week time frame, this is not easy. Like for a lot of emotional traders, you have to deal with this. Boom, boom, where you're going the drawdown. And then are you going to make it? Oh, I made it. Oh, God, I'm going to sell for a loss. I'm going to rebuy for less coins. And that's difficult for a lot of people. This is an emotional roller coaster, right? But when you zoom out on the 2-week, it looks like a no-brainer. I mean, it just looks easy, right? It just looks easy. So it depends on your tolerance, right? It depends. This just looks easy. You sell, you rebuy. But it's not that easy when you're watching the chart all day. However, for some people who can't just sit there, then you could get a lot more trades right here if you're trading this on the daily, right? You could get a lot more, right? I mean, you could sell, you could rebuy. You sell, you rebuy. You sell, right? So you could get a lot more trades. It just depends. Depends on, does that make sense? I'm not trying to dodge you or not tell you. It just depends on you. So for me, when we're doing chop, I would prefer like the daily 2-day. However, for this particular example I'm giving, I would not mess with it. And this is where you have to know your market, because you have to know your cycles. When you start this, what I would call parabolic, I mean, this is parabolic. Maybe your altcoin wouldn't, but this is 6,500%. But when you start this parabolic run up right here, I'm not messing with the daily stuff, because you don't know any one of these daily candles can just rip you back up another 500%. So for me, once this initiates, I will switch to 2-week mode only. But down here, yeah, daily 2-day. That's what we did. That's how we 4x'd our coins right in here. Right here on the daily. You know, this is just easy chop. But I knew we weren't anywhere near a parabolic run up, most likely because I was aware of where we were in the cycle. So it was easy for me to just drop here to the 2-day on Damien Pro. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And then we turned the spot trading off the last 2 months because it's just been down, and no 2-day signal until right here last Wednesday when I gave it live on stream. For me, the 2-day is the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot. However, again, I want to stress, when you start this parabolic run up, you better be careful, because you get a 2-day signal like this and then boom, you're gone. So once you start taking all this out and flipping macro market structure bullish, you better drop the high time or kick it up to high time frames. I'm telling you. But during this, kick up that 2-day and kick ass and take names, bro. Just my opinion. Oh, thanks, Peter. Thank you. Speaking of that, guys, we're giving away. We've almost gotten 1,500 subs. We've picked up about 30 more over the weekend. Share the channel. When we get to 1,500, I'm going to give away $1,500 on the live stream. It's going to be 3 separate giveaways for a total of 1,500 just to celebrate it. One person cannot win all 3, so 3 different winners on that live stream. So share the channel. If we get to 1,500 subs today, I'll give it away on Wednesday. I don't care. You guys help us out. Share the channel. Share the YouTube channel. Share the link. Peter, makes perfect sense. Good. West Coast says the recent cold wallet hacks also seem like a way to shake out Holly. Yeah, all that stuff. That's a perfect example. Do you remember what day that was on West Coast? Do you remember what day the cold wallet hacks happened? Anybody remember what day that happened on? Cuba says, you're the only soul I follow who called the bottom with confidence. I've been buying crypto since Bitcoin Weekly RSI went red, period. Thanks. Thank you. I'm not saying I'm the only person that called the bottom. I'm sure somebody else did. But I know that I haven't seen anybody give the type of evidence, call it that, data evidence. I haven't seen anybody give that much evidence. So maybe they had the evidence and they didn't give it, or maybe they were just flipping a coin. I don't know. But I wasn't just calling it because it felt like we should call it. Like all the things as a professional trader that I look for a top or a bottom showed up on June 30th. All of them. All of the things that always hit in that final drop in Q4, every one of them hit on June 30th. So I said, why do we need to go lower? We just did it. We just did everything that we looked for. It's complete. So that, you know, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Thank you for saying that, Cuba. Thank you. Ben Shaw, Arc Block can reach $1 this year. Let's take a look at Arc Block in a second. Couple weeks ago, all right, West Coast, couple weeks ago, that's perfect. So look at Bitcoin a couple weeks ago, guys. You had a major cold wallet hack. I mean, the super most bearish thing I can possibly think of that normally, a couple weeks ago, when was a couple weeks ago? Let's go to the daily time frame. That would have been back, let's see, this is all of August, so it would have been somewhere in there. Something like that normally would have sent price instantly down. That would have been FTX level collapse. The fact that it couldn't send it down shows you everybody that's going to get shaken out of this market is gone. 10.8 million coins in a loss, fear at 5. These people that are here to stay. When you see stuff like that at bottoms and price doesn't go down, your bottom is in. Likewise, when you're up here at the top, guys, and you need to hear this, you need to understand this, when you hear stuff like that at the top, but the reverse, oh, such and such just got passed, the bill, the whatever. If you're up here and some major bullish news comes out and price just does this, you're at the top. That means everybody who is interested in Bitcoin at this value, that's it. Like, fair value for Bitcoin has been exceeded. Nobody thinks that Bitcoin at this time is worth it higher, right? Fair value has been exceeded. The most bullish news can't push you any higher. Otherwise, it's an instant rip up, right? And if you don't get that, your top is in, guys. Your top is in. I'm going to come back and look at Arc Block real quick. Charlie Morgan, what's up, bro? What's up, dude? That was funny, Charlie. I posted something somewhere, a video, I think, calling somebody out about trying to buy lower and feeling foolish, and Charlie came and fessed up. He was like, it was me. I laughed. I giggled. No shade to Bob Ross. Bob Ross is hiding his heads in the sand. Yeah, I agree. It's refreshing to see this in crypto. Any recommendations on cold wallets? Not really. I use a Nano Ledger X, I think. I don't know where it is. It's around here somewhere. I use a Nano Ledger X. But I don't know. I've used that for years. I don't really know what else is out there. July 30th on the hacks. Right there. Bitcoin has not gone one nickel lower than it was on July 30th. It was up from there. Even on the pullback, didn't take it out. So that was it. When the most bearish news you can think of has a bullish reaction, your low is in. LT says, I'm truly a professional trader. Thank you. It's true. It is true. Mario says, Bjorn is a beast. Bjorn is king. If you're just joining us and you missed all that, you should go back and watch the beginning. But get over here, AnthonyLeeRaw.com. Join us in the VIP Discord. Or get your indicators at the indicator tab. Or you can just come here and look at me and my graying beard. Look at those grays. We should chat GPT, or we should AI that up and take the gray out. Getting old, guys. Come get your indicators. We're fixing to raise the prices on them. Heading into the bull run, only because the market's fixing to be flooded with folks. So we're fixing to raise prices. You guys want them, go get them. Kita got hacked the day before the explosion. Did it? I missed that one. I don't watch the news too much. A lot of people trade news. I don't. I look at a few reports like PMI, CPI. But I watch Bjorn. Any altcoins? I'm gonna Ben Shaw super chatted. Thank you. I'm gonna come back real quick and look at ARC Block. Look at Bitcoin pumping up 79.3K. If we break 80, I'm gonna give away a 50% discount code. My man. Let's look at ARC Block. Ben Shaw, are you still with us, bro? Are you still with us, bro? Are you still here? All right, here was the ARC Block last week, the day before the blast off. Day before the blast off, you got a Damien Pro buy signal. The day of the blast off, you got an Alexander buy signal, Alexander altcoin indicator. That is also over here on the page. Alexander altcoin indicator designed specifically for altcoins. So from the time you get the Damien Pro buy signal to the blast off, you got about a 27% pump. Let's look at Bjorn. You also got, this is what I use. You got Bjorn expansion that day too. Remember, contraction, you come down below. Expansion, you come back above 15. That's where the big moves happen to the upside and the downside. The direction is called by stochastic. Okay? So you got it there on the same day that you got the Damien Pro signal. So that would have been an easy entry. Let's look at the 2-day. 2-day still headed, let me remove this. The 2-day still headed up, but it's kind of starting to turn sideways here. Doesn't mean you're going down. It just means things are cooling off here. Let's look at the 3-day. Three-day was headed up. You got expansion. That gave you the big move. Guys, these I know everybody likes Damien, and it's sorry guys, it's great, but I'm telling you guys, if you have Bjorn, if you would spend a few minutes learning it, I'm telling you, it's the best indicator ever. It's really all you. Let's put it to the test here. If you want to put it to the test, real quick, short test. And let me give you a no BS proof that it's the best. Put a 2 in chat right now, and I will prove it to you. Irrefutable evidence. Something you've probably never seen before. But anyway, it gave you the pump. It gave you the expansion. but it's kind of cooling off here. It's kind of turned to the side a little. Let's look at the 5-day. 5-day expansion. Okay, this is not good. 5-day is still headed up, and stochastic has ticked sideways, but I don't know. Everything is just sideways on it. So what's probably going to happen here, you just have to watch it. You really just have to watch it. I know it's not what you want to hear, but it's true. I don't want to tell you something false, but everything's just sideways. It's just sideways. Sideways, sideways. What you want to watch is for, this is probably going to come down a little, the volatility meter. You want to wait till it kicks back up. And then whenever it kicks back up, whenever that is, whatever direction stochastic heads, whether it be up or down, that's your trade. Okay, Johnny wants to see it. All right, I'm going to show it. Let me show you. Let's go to the 3. Let's just go to the 3-day. West Coast wants to see it. All right, West Coast, you're my man. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on, go to clean Bitcoin chart. I'm fixing to prove this to you guys right now. I'm going to turn all this off. I'm going to turn on Bjorn. I'm on the 3-day time frame. You do you, whatever time frame you like. West Coast, I'm just going to scroll. Okay? I'm just going to scroll here. 3-day time frame. I'm just going to kind of scroll back, and you tell me, you type out stop when you want me to stop. I'm just going to go. I don't even care. I'm just going to go. West Coast is going to put stop in there. I'm all the way back to 2022, 2023. I'm just going back. Look, I don't know where we are. Tell me to stop. Tell me when to stop. Don't worry, I'll wait. Okay, we're stopped. I don't have a clue what's going on here, okay? I don't have a clue where we are. What I'm looking for is a period of expansion, okay? So we're going to go right here. We're going to look for a period of expansion, okay? I'm on the 3-day time frame, okay? So maybe you could have got a better sniper entry somewhere on there. But here's what I would watch for if I traded with no price candles. I don't give a shit what's going on price. I'm just going to watch this. And so I can look at this right here, and I know I kind of scrolled over here, but I wanted to find an area where we got expansion to the upside. So we were down here for an extended period of time. That tells me whatever is going to happen is going to be a big move, okay? Tells me whatever's going to happen is going to be a big move. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where we are in the market right here. I don't care. I don't care, okay? Tells me we've been down here because, look, we usually stand in here one candle, extended period of time. So I'm going to tell you as soon as this ticks up, right here, as soon as it ticks up right there, I'm going to look at the direction of stochastic, okay? Let me flip this around. All right, we ticked up there. Actually, we really ticked up there. I'm going to enter my long trade because we're ticking up. Volatility's ticking up after having been down here for an extended period of time. I'm going to enter a long trade there, okay? And then I can see, I'm just going to watch it. 3-day time frame. I'm just going to watch it. And sure enough, a couple periods later, you got expansion. Okay, we got expansion. Did stochastic flip on me? No, it didn't. It's still positioned to the upside. So that tells me I'm getting a big volatile move to the upside, okay? And right here where it flips down, you could get out or you could stay in. You could get out. A safe bet would be to get out right there where you flip down, okay? Although you could have re-entered later, but let's just see what happened. I don't have a clue what happened here. I really don't have a clue. This could backfire in my face. There's your move. There's your move. Yes, it continued higher, and I'll show you how you could have got back in there. But I just did this cold on a random area that you told me to stop on using Bjorn. I didn't even have to look. I didn't know that this was going on. I don't know where we are in the cycle. I entered on that candle that I highlighted, and I exited at the top of the next candle. 20% move on Bitcoin, guys. 20%. Just using the indicator, not even looking at price action or candles. In fact, I will argue with you that sometimes looking at candles, price candles, is a bad thing. I know anybody who doesn't understand what I'm talking about is not going to understand that, but that's where the emotions come in when you see price doing this, chop, 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 chop. Like, this is what makes, West Coast knows what I'm talking about. This is what makes us get in and out of trades. But if you can't even see this, and you have a reliable, proven indicator like this, and you could just watch this, you don't see the chop. You just watch and get out when it tells you to. And the big key is stop hopping time frames. Don't hop time frames. That will wreck you so fast. If you enter on a time frame, stay on that time frame. So you could have got out there when stochastic flipped down. And the reason I would have gotten out there is because volatility was still headed up. So that meant you were getting a decent sized pullback there. However, one candle later, stochastic flipped back to the upside. So you could have re-entered your trade there, right? You could have re-entered your trade right there. And that flip to the downside, when it flipped to the downside, would have been this wick right here. So it gave you a drawdown about 4%. You could have avoided that. And then, so let's say you re-entered one candle later, when it flipped back to the upside there, you would have rode it all the way over here and gotten out there. So you could have caught the rest of this. You could have caught the rest of this move right here. So you got a 20% first move, and then you re-entered here and got out there, and you got another 4% move. And then this is the result when volatility, this is why I tell you I only trade, let me erase this and erase this. I only trade when volatility is headed up, okay? Because look here, this next period right here, you had volatility headed down. See how volatility is headed down right here? And I don't want to fool with this. If you want to fool with this, great. But this is what you get when volatility is headed down. Doesn't mean price is headed down. It just means you get this nonsense emotional chop that I don't want to deal with. And the next time you got expansion was right here. And this is a trade I would take. You got expansion, right? You're down here in chill zone, and then you expanded up. And at the time of expansion, I don't even know what happened, but stochastic was headed down. So that tells me big aggressive move because volatility is headed up, big aggressive move to the downside. And there it is, guys. There it is. It's just simple. 16% move down without even looking at candles. Don't even need price candles. Don't even need price candles. I would actually encourage you guys, West Coast, sorry to call you out, but if you get emotionally drawn into the day-to-day moves or the minute-to-minute moves, don't even look at candles, bro. Don't even look at candles. I know nobody's going to be able to do that. I've done it. I've done it on live streams, live trading streams before. Johnny can tell you, Max can tell you. Before I even had a channel, we would do live streams together, just us trading, and I would be like, let me show you guys. And we would just do this. I didn't have a Bjorn indicator at the time. I had two other indicators that I used. So I'd have to use two in Confluence, but then I created Bjorn, which was nothing more than a combination of those two indicators. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys that it can be done. That if you spend a little bit of time learning Bjorn, it is king. Cuba says Bitcoin going to hit 80 in 2 minutes. Let's see. Bro, you jinxed the whole damn thing. A crypto tutoring school. I have mentorship programs. Anybody interested? I announced it at the beginning of the stream. If anybody wasn't on, I used to do mentorship. I turned it off because I got too busy. I'm opening up 3 spots, 1, 2, 3, for the month of September. When those 3 spots are reserved, when people purchase those, it's over. I will not do it anymore. Not that I don't want to, I just don't have time. But there are 3 1.5 hour each one-on-one Zoom sessions with me live where I'm just going to cover whatever you ask me on the stream, and we're going to learn. So DM me in Discord or post something in the chat channel and I'll send you a link to reserve your mentorship. Went to 79.7. We'll sit on here a few more minutes. I got to go. I'm starving, Marvin. but I got to go. Anybody wants me to look at anything else? Or if you want to see another Bjorn example, random, you tell me when to stop. I'll be happy to do that. I could do it all day long. I could do it all day long. And just so you see, I don't have anything else I'm looking at. You can see my screen. Let me put Bjorn back up like it was. Show you guys my setup. There's my streaming. That's what I look at when I'm streaming. When I look at you guys, I'm looking at this. So I can see my screen. And there's my screen. And here's the other screen over here. So I didn't have any other chart. I was just using Bjorn. And there's where I watch my deer out the window. I know you guys are super interested in that. Okay, we'll look at SPX real quick. Give it a couple more minutes to see if Bitcoin does its thing. Anybody go say hey to Mark Smith 0? Anybody do that for me? What do you want to know about SPX, bro? What is your question? Gotta have a question, man. Nice little pump here. What is your question? Is this the most history on this chart? I think we've looked at this before. There's nothing I can tell you about this on the macro scale. But if you have a question, I'll be happy to look at that for you. But I can't give you a macro prediction here. There's just not enough history. No question, Peter? Okay, anybody else? Anybody else? Uh-oh, Bitcoin pushing. See if we get that 80K. What, yeah, I'll look at Theta, Peter, but I need a question. Like, I don't know. You mean just look at it? Take a picture? I mean, what do you want me to look at about it? Theta looks awful. I would swipe left on this and I would never look back. But if you have a specific question, I'll happily do that. But this is not a coin I would ever touch. You have taken out bear market low. You can, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but you can just expect lower low, lower highs on the macro scale. I would never touch a coin like this. But if you have a specific question, I will happily answer it. But you got to know you've taken this bear market low out significantly. I mean, like massively. 80% below last bear market low. You're in macro bearish market structure. You can expect a lower high and lower low. Yeah, it's awful. It is awful. But if you have a question, like, it doesn't mean you can't make money on this. I just wouldn't expect new highs. Now, can it happen? Yeah, but it is very, very unlikely. Well, and people don't understand, like the V-chain people, like, I just want to wring their neck. Just kidding, guys. That's not a threat. You're just dumb. But V-chain is like 80% below the low, just like this. And they keep on with, it's on the mat at UFC, and it's like, nobody cares. Major investors, all of last cycle, decided this was the lowest they were willing to let V-chain go. I know I'm looking at Theta. Somebody's going to argue. Let's go look. Last cycle, they decided this was the lowest they would not let it go lower than that. This was the lowest value. And they have thought since then that it's not even worth the lowest point in all of last cycle, to the tune of 70% less. Nobody is coming to save this coin. Nobody cares. This coin is going nowhere. You don't know something that the major players in the game don't know. You're not ahead of the game. You're not smarter than them. They have told you by letting this thing fall 70% through the floor that they don't care about this coin. They don't find value in it at even the bear market low of last cycle. Restore the West's near. I like near. I got a near video or two. I'll look at it, but for those that don't know, you can come over here, type in whatever coin to the channel, and I got a couple of near videos there with bull run price predictions and stuff. But I'll take a look. Oh, near looks really good. Here's the problem with near. Part of the problem. Okay, on near, I have a really low bull run price prediction, but on near, I have a video here. Where I cover my altcoin projections. Here you go. 50 altcoin. Welcome back to Anthony Lee Raw. Oops. Guys, we're going to take a look at Nosana. This one right here, 50 altcoin price predictions. I'll tell you what I want to do. What I want to do is an updated video on near. I literally said I ran through 50 altcoin predictions in this video. And only one did I say I think, and I'm not saying I'm going to get all of them right. I will obviously get some wrong. But I acknowledged in this video that the one coin that I could get absolutely wrecked on, the most wrong, is near. I think near could, most coins do not do separate from what the macro technicals say, but I think that near could. So I really would like to do an updated video. Here's the problem with near on the macro. You flipped market structure bearish on the macro. You took out your bear market low. And I just don't like that. So from a macro technical standpoint, right, you have now, even though slightly, you have flipped macro bearish. So one would expect a retrace somewhere in here and down, but that seems ridiculous given where we are right now. Okay? And I don't know anything about the fundamentals here, but near swept this low, bounced like most of the altcoins did back in February, and most of the altcoins, not all, but most came back and either kind of came close to the low or took it out. Near held up really well, better than 99% of them. So it's showing bullishness that you would not expect from a coin that just flipped macro bearish. So I just have a feeling that near is going to be one of the exceptions to the rule. But technically you're macro bearish. But I did acknowledge in that video that I think I'm going to be wrong about near. Let's look at what it's doing right now. Could get a little pullback. I'm on the week. Let's drop down. So on the 2-day, you're looking good. You need the weekly to flip. So on the 2-day, Bjorn. Yeah, Bjorn expansion, okay, this would have given you, if you're a trader, this would have given it to you last week. We've been talking about Bjorn, but you were extended period of time down here in contraction. Then you expanded. At time of expansion, I mean, guys, if you just pay attention to Bjorn, it's all you need. At the time of expansion, boom, stochastic was headed to the upside. Easy, no-brainer trade. I'm on the 2-day time frame. This big rocket ship out of there. It's just given to you. You could have had. But now, let's look at it now. All that's passed. You're still headed to the upside on volatility and stochastic. So we're still looking for a move up. However, the weekly has just flipped down. So that means there's a fight here. So we got volatility still headed up with stochastic flip down on the weekly, but the 2-day is obviously a lower time frame. The 2-day is headed up. So what you need to see is follow through on this 2-day. If the this is where it could get big. You could get an explosive move. If the 2-day, I'm not calling it, but if the 2-day, I called this. You want to call moves when you're down in contraction. You want to manage your trade when you're outside of contraction. That's where you manage. Okay? You call down here, you enter down here, you manage up here. So I'm not calling right now, I'm managing. And what you want to see is this 2-day push up a little bit more. If the 2-day can push up a little bit more, you could flip this weekly stochastic to the upside. Volatility is already headed up, and then you could see continuation. You have the, oh my gosh, this is a beautiful setup. If you can get it, I'm not calling for it, guys. I called for it down here at the bottom. I'm not calling for this, but look at this. You have this lovely series of relative equal highs here. If you can get into them, you did not liquidate them yet. You did not liquidate them. If you liquidate them, you get a big blast. It looks like this. Boom. You kind of lightly tapped in right there, but you did not grab the liquidity from these relative equal highs. If you do, you're going to get a big explosive move, probably up to at least about there, before checking up. Somewhere about there, 260, 265, so another 30% move. This is primed. You want to watch that 2-day Bjorn, okay? And really you want to watch the weekly Bjorn. If you can see that stochastic flip up on the weekly Bjorn, get ready for at least 260, 265 incoming, at least. But at this point, you can't make the call because you've already expanded. Now it's a matter of watching stochastic to see which direction price is going to head. This is where you make the call when you're down here, right? Just like the move back in April. You make the call when you're down here. When you get expansion, let's turn on Damien. You make the call when you're down here in contraction, and as soon as it starts to expand up right there, what direction is stochastic headed? Let's trace it up. Let's trace it up. It's headed up. Boom. You enter your long, and then you watch it. And when you fired off red, that is your explosive move up. Damien Pro tells you to get out. Damien Pro got you back in. You watch your expansion. You got it. You don't have an exit signal yet. So now we're watching stochastic to see if it flips on the weekly time frame. You're welcome. All right, let's see where Bitcoin is before we go. I'm going to look at one more. Give Bitcoin just about 2-3 more minutes here. Fetch is flying. Oh gosh, Fetch is flying, guys. Up 6%. Looking for that follow through. Rotation of capital, guys. Stablecoin dominance still coming. Do you know why these things are flying, guys? I keep telling you guys. I've told you before, unfollow the retards that show you Bitcoin dominance. Those people are stupid. Look at Bitcoin dominance going up today. Look at Fetch going up today. You know what's going down today? Stablecoin dominance. Unfollow those Bitcoin dominance retards. I'm telling you, unfollow them. If you don't know what I mean, put a 3 in chat and I'll show you real quick. If you don't know what I mean, if you've missed that whole lecture. Dang, good call, Restore the West. This excites me. Chainlink. Keith, dude, thanks for being here, bro. Man, I'm not a Chainlink fan. Every time I've said anything or put a video out on Chainlink, I've gotten massive hate mail. I have Chainlink videos. If you want to hate me, go over to the channel. Type in Chainlink or link. I have Chainlink videos, but I don't think you're going to like what I have to say. Everybody else gets so mad at my Chainlink videos. I mean like fighting mad. I don't hate Chainlink. I don't have anything against it. I don't know anything about the fundamentals. The technicals just aren't there. It's just not there. And maybe some fundamental something comes in for Chainlink. Not saying it doesn't. I don't hate it. I don't really care what happens to it. It just hasn't. In 8 years, it hasn't. So why would it now all of a sudden? You're just kind of trapped in this sideways range. It's $300 sideways range, or excuse me, $30 sideways range. I know this chart's messy. I think I compared this to XLM, and it looks almost exact to Stellar Lumens, but Stellar Lumens has an extra cycle under its belt. And let me see. See if I can do an overlay here. This chart that I chose for XLM doesn't have the full history. It has it coming from way down here too, just like Chainlink. This just looks strikingly similar to me. The only difference here is really with and I know it doesn't have to play out just because XLM did, but XLM got it in one push, but that's because it was being suppressed because of the XRP lawsuit. It was being suppressed, so it played catch up in a hurry, so it didn't have this chop. It was just one straight candle. But this thing looks exact. There's an extra cycle on XLM that's not being shown on this. I don't see it. I don't see it for XLM either. I think you come up about like this. I don't even necessarily think you come down here. I just think you probably, they've just, in my opinion, established that this is fair value for Chainlink. I mean, that has been fair value for Chainlink since 2020. So in almost 7 years, they haven't thought more or less of Chainlink. I don't know. I just don't like it. I just feel like there's far better opportunities. Even if you came up and broke highs, which you haven't done in 7 years, almost 7 years, even if you did that, it's only a 4X. And it just doesn't look likely. But even if you do, you get a 4X out of it. And there's just so many more coins that can just barely retrace and get a 4X, much less break new all-time highs, right? So it's not that I hate it. I just don't think the risk to reward is there. You've got to break all-time highs to do better than a 4X. Most coins don't break all-time high. But look at something like, I don't know, pick a coin. We always look at Fetch. Let's look at Fetch. If Fetch does a 4X from the low, I mean, that's right there. That's right there. And maybe it doesn't, but that's right there. Chainlink has to break all-time highs, way up there. Fetch just has to go there. So just for me, from a probabilistic standpoint, the risk reward is far greater on something like this at getting a 4X or better. That's all. It's not because I hate Chainlink. People get so mad at me. I'll see you, Peter. Good job. Keith moving into ETH. ETH got that big pump. Really good one. I wouldn't touch Link. There, you couldn't pay me to touch Chainlink. Okay, it doesn't look like we're gonna get the move on Bitcoin. Anybody else want me to look at one more thing? Uno mas. Anything else? I'm trying to let Bitcoin fly on up there. I'm going to edit this coupon, guys. We're going to do a little solid here. Hang on, I'm going to give you this anyway. But we're going to edit it. Bitcoin did not hit 80K. But I want to give away something. So what we're going to do, put it in chat right now. Promo code is 80K. 80K at AnthonyLeeRaw.com for 25% off any of your indicators. That coupon code will expire today at the close of business, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. 25% off any and all indicators in your basket. It's a one-time use only. I was going to give away 50%, but we didn't hit 80K on Bitcoin. I still want to give you something because I love you guys, though. 25% off. Go get your Damien Pro. Go get your Bjorn. Go get them all. I thank you guys for being here. I love you guys. Congrats for those who caught the big pump, made the big dollars. We're going to see what Bitcoin does. Pull back, blast off, form a range, and hopefully by Wednesday we will have a direction on this, and I'll be able to tell you the trades we're looking for. But we're going to wait to see what they do Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday we'll pick a direction. So, guys, I love you. The Lord loves you. I will see you next time.